Mr. Huelskamp, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First question I would have would be for Ms. Mooney. I believe you've articulated the assertion of attorney-client privilege and have referenced that numerous times. Would you identify for the committee who is the client that you're asking for that privilege?
I would just defer that to the Office of General Counsel.
Has that been identified for the committee, exactly the client, that the attorney-client privilege is being asserted by the Office of General Counsel?
Attorney-client privilege.
Well, there has to be a client, clearly. Who is the client? Who is refusing to provide information to this committee and to the American public about this issue?
Mr. Huelskamp, I know that the Office of General Counsel is working with the committee staff on that.
Okay, so you do not know or refuse to reveal. Do you know?
Mr.
Huelskamp, I'm not with the Office of General Counsel.
If the gentleman will yield.
Yes, sir.
All we know is that it is one of the 8 people who has in fact been subpoenaed. That is, we haven't been given a name yet, but to answer your question, it is one of the 8 people.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My understanding of that privilege, we get the privilege of knowing who the client is, and that should have been noted in the original refusal to provide the information. I'd like to return to Dr. Lynch as well, and returning to your trip to Phoenix, and you were apparently not surprised by the OIG report.
No, Congressman, I'm not.
And what actions had you taken in the 5 weeks since that report, if you could describe those, or since your visit?
I'm not sure it's, well, maybe it is 5 weeks. We have had 2 teams in Phoenix since my visit, one working with the scheduling team, the other working with the clinics to improve their care delivery process.
Had they identified the 1,700 individuals that were revealed in the OIG report?
We did not identify the 1,700, Congressman.
You've described the obviously electronic waiting list, which is not secret. You've referenced numerous times about the interim or intermediate list. How many names were on that intermediate list?
I don't know, Congressman, because I suspect there were multiple lists as patients were canceled. The list of the patients that were canceled were printed out, and patients were rescheduled.
And these were all destroyed?
To my knowledge, they were destroyed, Congressman.
So no idea how many names were on the destroyed interim waiting list?
They were not available for me to review.
Did you observe that?
Pardon?
Did you see the list?
I did not.
How did you know it existed?
I have seen an example of what the list looks like.
How did you know it existed?
Because the people we talked to told us that...
Did you visit with the director of the Phoenix Clinic about the list?
I did not. We visited with folks in their scheduling office.
Who made the decision to take away her bonus?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't her bonus removed after your visit or rescinded?
That was, I believe, within the last week. That was not my decision. That was the Secretary's decision.
It was rescinded?
Yes.
But you did not visit at all with the director of the clinic when you went to do your investigation?
There are multiple clinics.
Yes or no? Did you visit with the director of the clinic?
Actually, I did.
Tell us the conversation.
We talked to him about his process of trying to improve the availability.
Did you discuss the destruction of the interim waiting list?
No, I did not.
Did you know about it when you visited with the director?
I did.
And you chose not to bring it up. Why?
Because it did not appear to be in his area of responsibility. His area of responsibility was the clinic.
Which just happens to be the waiting list.
Pardon?
2 other items I'd like to address. In addition to the interim list that's been destroyed, there's also 3 other lists. Thank goodness we have those. OIG found those. That's the near tracking report, the screenshot paper printouts, the scheduled appointment consult. That's how we identified 1,700 veterans who were denied care. I would say this was a secret. We were lucky, I guess, that we found those. Do those type of lists exist throughout the entire VA system?
I don't know.
You're the expert in the process. You don't know if there's a near tracking system in other clinics?
The near list is available to every medical center.
So every medical center could have the near list with potentially another secret waiting list?
the near list is not secret, but they could have a
How did
near
you
list.
not know about the list if it's not secret?
I'm sorry.
They identified 1,100 veterans sitting on this list who were denied care. Some of them might not be alive today because you waited 35 days and did nothing as far as changing that. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. O'Rourke, you recognize 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to begin my remarks by sharing the frustration expressed so far